There you go, CC. There you go, Caitlin. Way to hold it down, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark told the WNBA, damn you and your bogus orange carpet. I ain't showing up to nothing. I'm not showing up to your bogus orange carpet. I'm not showing up to this joke of a 3-point shootout. I'm not showing up to link up and kick it with none of y'all. Y'all fake, y'all phony, y'all jealous, y'all are haters. Caitlin Clark just pulled a no-show for opening day of WNBA All-Star Week.
NBA was supposed to be celebrating the absolute pinnacle of its existence. The 2026 All-Star Weekend in Chicago was heavily marketed as the most profitable, highly anticipated, and globally watched event in the entire history of women's basketball. The sold-out signs were plastered on the arena doors months in advance. Secondary ticket markets were exploding with astronomical prices, and major broadcast networks were aggressively banking on record-shattering viewership. It was supposed to be a flawless victory for the league. But right now, at this exact second, the league offices are in a state of unprecedented, catastrophic panic. They are actively bleeding millions of dollars by the hour. Massive corporate sponsors are frantically pulling their lucrative advertising campaigns, and Adam Silver is reportedly absolutely furious at the sheer incompetence on display. Why is the biggest weekend in sports history suddenly collapsing into ashes? Because the WNBA front office just made the single most arrogant, outrageously out of touch, and financially devastating decision imaginable. In a desperate, highly calculated bid to appease a vocal minority of jealous veteran players, the league executives tried to put a restrictive leash on the biggest phenomenon in basketball. They attempted to enforce a strict, humiliating, and completely unjustified minutes restriction on Caitlin Clark for the main event. But they completely forgot who they were dealing with. Caitlin Clark didn't just complain to the media. She didn't just passively accept the disrespect. She aggressively drew a massive line in the sand and did the absolute unthinkable. She completely boycotted the entire All-Star Weekend. The Golden Goose has officially gone rogue, and she is taking the WNBA's entire financial empire down with her. Grab your popcorn, because you are not going to believe the secret, highly toxic ultimatum that triggered this absolute disaster.
Yeah, you put up 123. Everything felt like it was clicking on offense. Where did you guys sense things were going right on that end of the floor, and how quickly did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was like one of our goals tonight was to come out and start well, because we've kind of struggled in that area the last couple games. So thought we did that, really well. Our defense wasn't very good in the first quarter, but it was better there in the second. And then, we're able to build a comfortable lead. And I thought we just played with really good pace and sharing the ball really well. It felt like our offense was really flowing.
One assist off the franchise record as well, but you three specifically have talked about like learning to play together over these couple of years, and when you missed time last year that impacted that. How do you feel like you three have connected recently on the offensive end of the floor specifically?
Yeah, I think we are super connected. I think for us it's just making sure that we just execute our plays, and when we do that, everyone gets theirs. I think for C and Kels, I mean, it's super hard.
We understand how this apocalyptic financial disaster happened. We have to look closely at the incredibly toxic politics operating behind closed doors. For months, a quiet, bitter resentment has been brewing among the league's old guard. The veteran players and traditionalist executives have been absolutely terrified of Caitlin Clark completely monopolizing the spotlight on a national stage. They simply could not stomach the undeniable reality that the fans were paying thousands of dollars exclusively to see one player shoot from the logo, while the rest of the established stars were treated like background extras in her movie. Instead of embracing the unbelievable growth and the massive influx of cash she brought to the table, the executives devised a cowardly, backdoor sabotage plan. Exactly 48 hours before the All-Star tip-off, league officials held a highly classified, closed-door meeting with the Indiana Fever front office. The directive from the top was crystal clear. Caitlin Clark needs to be aggressively marginalized during the broadcast. They meticulously drafted a highly restrictive minutes limit, demanding that she would only be allowed to play a fraction of the first and third quarters. They desperately tried to disguise this blatant sabotage under the incredibly fake PR guise of load management and protecting her long-term health. But every single person in that boardroom knew the dark truth. It was a calculated, vicious attempt to forcibly keep her glued to the bench so the older players could artificially claim the glory. They wanted to exploit her name and her face to sell out the massive stadium, but they wanted to strip away her ability to actually perform. The league executives confidently called Caitlin Clark into a private suite, expecting an easy conversation. They arrogantly assumed that, despite her superstardom, she would ultimately bow her head, respect the archaic hierarchy, and obey the corporate machine like a good, compliant player. They slid the mandated minutes restriction across the heavy mahogany desk, expecting her to just quietly sign off on the humiliation. But buddy, they tried to play petty political games with the absolute wrong generational.
Demanded to be off minute restriction. That's just my guess.
I only played 27 minutes. Crazy. No, I'm joking. But, I mean, I feel great. Like, I feel like I've felt kind of like myself over the course of the last 3 games and just continued to build that and stay on top of everything. But, it's kind of nice when, you build a hefty lead like that and then you're able to kind of get some rest there in the fourth quarter. And then a lot of my teammates were able to get in and contribute. And it was really fun to see them, keep the same level of play. That everybody came in and when their number was called, they were ready. And that was even the same for the first half. Like, when people got subbed in, they were ready. And, they allowed our offense to keep going. And then our defense kind of kicked in too. So I'm just proud of everybody.
I'm not sure if you're aware that you got a technical foul tonight.
I'm aware, yeah.
Sometimes you come in here, you say, hey, I just didn't know. But you said the pass wouldn't change anything. But how do you...
She said to deeply connected inside sources who were present in the building, Caitlin Clark didn't just come back. She made the decision inevitable. And just like that, the most devastating boycott in modern sports history was instantly activated. Clark immediately stood up, completely shut down all team communications, and aggressively walked out of the facility. She adamantly refused to board the chartered team plane to Chicago. She intentionally skipped the mandatory media day. She completely bailed on the highly publicized red carpet event, and she officially withdrew her name from the All-Star roster. She forced their hand with a brutal, uncompromising ultimatum. Either publicly remove the restriction and let her play without chains, or sit back and watch your billion-dollar showcase burn straight to the ground. The WNBA front office initially thought she was just bluffing. They arrogantly assumed the pressure of the national media would eventually force her to cave. But as the clock loudly ticked down and Clark was nowhere to be found anywhere near the city of Chicago, a chilling, terrifying reality set in. She was dead serious. The superstar had just staged a ruthless one-woman strike against the entire establishment, and the immediate financial fallout was absolutely apocalyptic.
We'll place the call to Caitlin Clark to get whatever it is you need. Take a look at this. Shout out to Correlation. Correlation said, bruh, Caitlin is in Iowa and StubBub was just asking where she is. Caitlin Clark pulled a no-show. Caitlin Clark's out in Iowa, having a good old time, not dealing with this nonsense, going to see, hair people and all of this stuff. She ain't got time to be dealing with these people no more. And I don't blame her. If I was Caitlin Clark, I wouldn't want to deal with these idiots any longer either. It's just been too much. Too much has been done. Too much has been done. Caitlin Clark pulled a absolute no-show. Here she is in Iowa. Okay. She said, I'm not going. I'll catch y'all. I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all. I might just show up. I might not show up to All-Star Weekend until 10 minutes before the game. I might not show up till 10 minutes before the game because y'all don't deserve the GOAT's presence with the way you guys have.
Exact moment, the explosive news leaked to the public that Caitlin Clark was boycotting the game over a forced minutes restriction. The internet literally broke in half. Furious fans who had painstakingly saved up and paid thousands of dollars for premium courtside seats immediately began flooding the ticketing platforms, demanding massive, immediate refunds. The secondary ticket market completely crashed in less than 60 minutes, with highly coveted VIP passes dropping in value from $5,000 to essentially pennies. Network executives, who had aggressively banked their entire summer broadcasting revenue on Clark's guaranteed massive viewership, were reportedly screaming at WNBA leadership through the phones, threatening catastrophic lawsuits for breach of contract. We are talking about a devastating loss of millions of dollars in a matter of hours. Major global sponsors, who exclusively paid premium rates for the Caitlin Clark effect, threatened to instantly pull their funding, loudly stating they did not pay a fortune to broadcast a glorified practice session for veterans nobody wanted to watch.
So I think just continue to be myself and then just try to refocus to, focusing on my teammates and how I can help them.
Do you think it's inevitable or no?
I don't know. I can't predict the future. You got to ask the Magic 8 Ball.
Caitlin, for you mentioned kind of feeling back to yourself. How much these past 3 games has it been kind of almost like a mental boost for you?
Yeah, it's like, you never like being out with injury. Like, it's hard for anybody, and I think especially last year, like having to go through it, like the 4 games off, 4 games play, 4 games on, 4 games, whatever it was. Like, that's really hard to kind of find a flow. So, I think for myself, like just being resilient and able to get my body back pretty quickly to where it was before I missed a couple games, and then just finding my flow. And sometimes it can be hard for my teammates too. Like, you don't want to come in and disrupt when you haven't been in a couple games. So just kind of easing my way back into everything, and they've made it easy too.
Kelsey, I'm curious, from your perspective, what have you seen from Caitlin here over these past few games as she's gotten healthier?
I just think her ability to lead, even while dealing with injury, and want to be your best self and letting your body be.
Corporate executives were running around the headquarters pulling their hair out. The reality of the situation hit the locker room like a freight train. The veteran players who had secretly lobbied for this exact restriction in the first place suddenly found themselves staring into the abyss of an empty, highly hostile arena. They finally got exactly what they asked for, an all-star game entirely focused on them, without Caitlin Clark stealing their shine. But the absolute silence from the media and the furious outrage from the ticket holders immediately proved how entirely dependent they were on her presence.
Bully! I'm seeing nice to meet you. Okay, I'm gonna see. Y'all see my dog? Y'all see this fucking all-star starter? Looking like money? I am money. Believe me. Ooh. And she is. Ooh, that was a bar. I'm stealing that. I am stealing that.
See, look, Stud Buzz, they're going to have a good time no matter what. I like them. Y'all can't get Caitlin Clark on y'all stream yet because she ain't showing up till she got to show up. She don't want nothing to do with Asia and them trying to corner her and have a meeting. They going to want her to show up and speak out for this group, that group. She don't have time for all of that. She trying to enjoy herself. What else? Oh, they got AZ Fudd in here. Yo, the Stud Buzz stream is lit, bro.
Oh, yeah, we been here. Oh, you talking about the room.
All right, I can't have that music playing. They got AZ Fudd in. Oh, they in there taking shots with AZ. Paige, you better get your girl, man. Stud Buds ain't safe, I'm telling you. They demons. They demons. All right. Okay, they had AZ Fudd in there. Oh, they got Kelsey Mitchell on the stream. Hey, go ahead, Kelsey.
What I just say? If you proud of her, yeah. I love y'all. Come on, we're in here. You know what I'm saying? What I'm giving? Fanboy right here. You like that? You giving? Y'all like that? Just say one shot later or something.
They trying to get everybody lit. Man, y'all gotta be careful with the Stud Buzz, man. Stud Buzz gonna get y'all toe up in Chicago. Y'all might not be able to wake up for whatever duties y'all got the next day, man.
Clark on the floor. The intense media buzz completely evaporated into thin air. The cameras stopped flashing, the viral social media momentum died instantly, and the harsh, undeniable truth was exposed for the entire world to see. The veterans quickly realized that by trying to diminish her light out of pure jealousy, they had effectively plunged the entire league into total darkness. The Indiana Fever front office went from feeling incredibly powerful and in control to being universally hunted by furious fans, terrified league investors, and a massive wave of national backlash. They tried to play God with her playing time, and instead, they single-handedly destroyed their own flagship event, humiliating themselves on the global stage. Right now, the WNBA is practically on its knees, desperately begging her to come back, offering to tear up the restrictions and give her complete control of the floor. But the damage is already permanently done. Caitlin Clark just forcefully proved that she isn't just another talented player in the WNBA. She is the entire beating heart of the WNBA's financial survival. The league needs her 1,000,000 times more than she will ever need.
Where you been scoring?
Yeah, I do think it's important. I think momentum and just having the basketball guys on your side in ways that, that you really don't understand. Really, I think it's true. I think the way in which you love the game, you pour into the game is a way you want it to show love to you back. And I think that we've done a decent job lately as far as keeping ourselves committed to the grind and committed to what, Steph has set for us. But more importantly, I think momentum going into our second half of our season is really big for us. Once you start, you kind of don't stop. And I think, our next couple of opponents that we do come to see, I think these games kind of help us prepared to see whatever we want to see in the second half of the season.
Chelsea, you said last week that you don't really like to talk less about basketball. So how do you vent through the game?
Keep the main thing. Certain things don't require a lot of talking. So I try to keep a happy balance and just keep my mind focused on what matters.
So, All-Star Weekend coming up. We'll be making an appearance on Sudbuds. What's all planned for you guys this weekend? Festivities up in Chicago.
They separated us, man. I know, man. They trying to...
Unapologetic boycott over a petty, jealous minutes restriction has officially cemented her status as the single most powerful, untouchable athlete in all of women's sports. The front office foolishly tried to cage the beast, and they ended up losing everything. I need to know exactly what you guys think about this insane, unprecedented drama right now. Do you stand with Caitlin Clark for completely boycotting the All-Star Weekend to teach the league a brutal financial lesson? Or do you think she should have just shown up and played through the disrespect? Drop your raw, totally unfiltered opinions in the comments section down below. Make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a massive, game-changing WNBA leak. And I will see you guys in the absolute next video.